The abyss, an age-old symbol of darkness, of the unknown, a place where our deepest fears, regrets, and desires are hidden. But what happens when we look into it? Is the abyss merely a mirror of the external world, or does it reflect something much darker, something within us? Nietzsche warned us about the abyss, and yet we are all familiar with it, not necessarily as a literal void, but as a psychological and emotional landscape. It is the part of us that we are afraid to acknowledge, the side we attempt to bury, to forget. In moments of vulnerability, when we feel lost or powerless, the abyss feels close. We sense it, lurking behind our thoughts. It is not just an external darkness, but an internal one that shapes the way we view the world. But this abyss is not just a symbol of evil or chaos. It is a mirror reflecting our inner struggles and our capacity for transformation. But here lies the most terrifying truth. The abyss does not only observe us, it gazes back into us. It knows us better than we know ourselves. In its depth, we discover not only the fear of the unknown, but also the uncomfortable truth of who we are beneath the surface. The abyss shows us our darkness, the parts of our soul that we try to suppress: jealousy, anger, hatred, our deepest vulnerabilities, and yes, even the monstrous potential we carry within. And this is where the danger lies. The longer we gaze, the more we risk becoming what we behold. Carl Jung referred to this as the shadow self, the part of us that we hide from the world and often from ourselves. The shadow is everything we are ashamed of, everything we fear to acknowledge. When we confront the abyss, we are not just looking into a void. We are gazing into the very essence of who we are, our fears, our desires, and the truths we are unwilling to face. The question becomes, can we accept our shadow? Can we integrate it into our lives? Or will we allow it to consume us? The abyss forces us to confront the uncomfortable, to face the darkest parts of our soul. It demands that we embrace the truth, no matter how difficult. But is the abyss gaze effect real? We cannot say that abyss gaze is a concrete scientific effect, but it is a powerful metaphor that reflects real and documented psychological experiences: fear of the unknown, existential crisis, anxiety of separation or dissociation. As mentioned earlier, Jung spoke about the psychological shadow, which represents the parts of ourselves that we deny or reject. Abyss gaze can be associated with confronting these dark aspects of our psyche. When a person looks into the abyss in a figurative sense, they may experience a deep sense of fear, unease, as if confronted with something they cannot understand. The abyss symbolizes this unknown, terrifying realm within ourselves. When people are exposed to ideas of death, life after death, or the fragility of human existence, they may experience a deep sense of unease. These thoughts can lead to existential fear or a form of anxiety related to the limitations of their own existence. The correlation between abyss gaze and the impending doom effect exists. The impending doom effect refers to that overwhelming sensation that something very bad is about to happen, without any concrete evidence for it. When you are in a state of abyss gaze, you might feel as though you are approaching a chasm or end, and this feeling can amplify the anxiety or fear of impending doom. In fact, both experiences can be seen as a response to confronting the fragility of existence and the idea of inevitability. When you stare into the abyss stares back. But what if one day you decide to confront it? At first, the abyss seems infinite, swallowing all light, all reason. It looms in front of you, a place where everything you thought you knew disappears. But when you decide to face it, when you choose to step forward, you realize something profound. The abyss is not a force that can destroy you. It is a reflection of your own fears. In that moment, when you stand face to face with the vast unknown, you are no longer just the observer. You become part of it, and in that shared silence there is a profound sense of clarity. The fear is still there, but it no longer rules you. It becomes an invitation, an opportunity to truly know yourself beyond the walls of comfort you've built. In this stillness, something shifts within you. What once seemed impossible, terrifying, now feels like a familiar presence. The abyss no longer holds dominion over you. It becomes a part of your own consciousness, a place where you can go to reflect, to grow, and to realize that the greatest mysteries of life are not meant to be solved, but to be understood from within. Jung said that the abyss is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced. Nietzsche taught us that in order to become who we truly are, we must embrace the chaos within, the chaos that both defines and liberates us. To conquer the abyss is not to eliminate fear, but to face it with the courage to embrace what lies beyond it. Nietzsche also said, "Become who you are, but who are we really when we face the abyss? Who are we when we look into the depths of our own existence, acknowledging both the darkness and the light? When you leave the edge of the abyss, it follows you, not as a shadow lurking in fear, but as a silent companion, always with you, always reminding you of the courage it took to confront it. It no longer controls you because you have become it. The abyss is not your enemy. It is your teacher." At first, it is frightening, and we are tempted to fall and give up. It takes time to discover that this place is an opportunity to experience a new form of power, of self-control. When we can accept the abyss, we step over a very important threshold in life. We accept ourselves. And in that final act of acceptance, you realize the abyss was never meant to break you. It was meant to show you who you truly are. And in doing so, it has set you free.